4. For example, when Trey got tails, heads, he would have stopped after the first 2 tails in this experiment because he would have gotten a repeat right then. So this is why these don't have to go quite as far. Anybody like Michael got heads, for example, tails, he would have stopped after HH, it would have been done. So this is a very quick experiment. You either flip twice or flip 3 times. How many of us?
I guess I did it wrong, because I flipped twice every time.
That's okay. That can happen, right?
I
That
like heads, tails,
heads, tails. That's okay. That happens sometimes. And now, now the thing is, if you look up, do you hear what Erin said? She's doubting her randomness. That's okay. It's okay. She's doubting her randomness because she always got duplets. Heads, tails, heads, tails. And that does seem a little bit strange, especially when you compare it to our 200 originally on the board. Nowhere up there did we ever have heads, tails, heads. Now the thing is, we kind of did in places though. Check it out. Look at this, Aaron. If you look right here, I can see 5 in a row. Right? It's just that we weren't breaking it up. That's tails, heads, tails. So there's 5 in a row. It's just that we were calling it 2 groups of 4 and a group of 2. But because you're stopping it after 2, you wouldn't have seen it as a group of 4. That's where it gets interesting. Depending on how you glue them together, that's where you get the crazy runs sometimes. Do we see any more of those? Almost over there with the 3 heads and 4 tails. So I guess what I'm saying is it can exist. It totally can exist. Seeing 10 of them, I don't think happened up here. But that doesn't mean it can't exist, obviously. It just did. So don't get too worked up by that. Nothing's broken. You didn't do it wrong by any stretch of the imagination. It's just part of the beauty of randomness. I think I told you guys the story of my Deck of Doom friends who were so pissed off when we had to do a royal flush of pull-ups. That's somewhere when you throw a deck of cards onto the ground, you're going to throw a royal flush out. It's got to happen. It just hopefully won't happen when you're doing pull-ups. All right. So how many of you were out at 2? I imagine we're going to have lots of double hands up.
Only at the casino.
You still going, Tom?
I'm good.
Oh, you're good. I know you're good. How many were out at 2? I think that was all of you, Aaron, right? So that's 10, 17.
If I got tails, and I put up 2?
No, that's just count that as one time that you got the tails,
Okay.
right? So that's 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 7, 31.
That's 6. That's my pencil.
Wait, 31 plus... Shit, put the hands back up again. I thought I counted that right, maybe I didn't. 10, 17, you're beginning to realize I can't add anymore. It's the skill lost long ago. 10, 17, 18, 19, 26, 37, 41, 45, 54, 58, 62, plus 8 is 75, 81, 87, 93, 102, 108. Love it.
Bam.
Now, if I could count correctly, I should be able to say that's 92-ish, somewhere in there, depending on how many of you there are in the room. But since I can't count, I better count again. Since I can't, I said I probably didn't count these right. Let's count them again to minimize error. How many of us took us 3? In other words, however many fingers you held up last time, you should hold up the opposite number of fingers to get to 10 this time. Does that make sense? Because you either took you 2 or it took you 3. So if you held up 6, you're gonna hold up 4. If you held up 1, right? So you're gonna hold up 9.
9?
You have to, right?
Okay, sure.
Well, I mean, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
You have to hold up 9 because whatever you held up last time, this is the rest of those.
Got it.
I hope that makes sense.
Sort of.
It kind of does, right. So there's 3, because Gabby held up 7 last time, so that's 3, 12, that's 8, or that's 9. That's 21, 25, 31, 34, 46, 47, 53, 59, 61, 65, 69, 72, 76, 77, 81. That's not too bad. Not too bad. It's not that far off. Okay, so far? Okay, we can take a break from our data collection now. What I want to do now is I want to analyze some stuff. I want to talk about this long run. We can fit exponential curves to these all day long if you guys want to, but I don't want to do that right now. What I want to do right now is, I want to do some averaging. I want to ask 3 questions. On average, how many flips does it take? How many flips does it take until I see heads? On average, how many flips does it take until I see one of each? On average, how many flips does it take until I see each side at least once? So how many flips does it take until I see heads? How many flips does it take until I see both sides? Does that make one of each? One of each. How many flips until I get a repeat? How many flips until I get a repeat? Fair enough? Does that make sense? How many flips until I get a repeat? So let's figure out, based on the data we've collected. I'm going to swing up here. I'm going to use that front board up there.